Welcome to this edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience. I'm Mike Stidham, joined by Killa Salvador Sanchez. We're going to be taking a look at some newcomers tonight. We're going to be taking a look at a few contenders, but the fight I know you're excited to watch, and I'm excited to watch, Mahfoo, Fosita, and Johnny Kafer.
Mike, let me tell you, these guys are real-life walking avatars. If you look at the frame on these two guys, I mean, I couldn't put a match better together myself.
Well, you know, and their styles are going to be interesting as well, because Kiefer is a very accomplished wrestler, Mahfoo Fosita, a very accomplished boxer. In fact, we're going to take a look back at their backgrounds as well, and then watch them slug it out. You definitely want to stick around for that, but we got a lot more to go through before we get to that. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience coming right at you. In your heavyweight division, got a couple guys coming out here that are trying to make a name for themselves in the MMA world. One guy, a traditional martial artist, Colton Hooly, going up against David now.
Hey, this is a fresh batch of fighters we got out here, Mike, and let me tell you something, these kids are hungry. All the veterans out there better be keeping their eyes on these two kids, because they got a bright future ahead of them.
The future stars are going to start right here. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience heavyweight division. Check it out. You know, Sal, we talk about this quite a bit on this show. I mean, you just never know what you're going to find when these first-timers come out. But I'm pretty sure I know what we're going to find. Just looking at this kid, he's going to be a wrecking ball.
He looks like a slugger for sure, Mike. But I'll tell you what, his opponent doesn't look like no pushover.
Well, that's true. 5'9", 250 is David now. Training down there with Riven, good guys down there. And nickname is what?
David Now.
No, his nickname is what?
Oi!
Right. Colton, the kid Hooly, on the other hand, he's got a little bit of a height advantage, but you know, he's going to need it against that little wrecking ball. 6'3", 250 pounds is Colton Hooly. He's a karate guy, and they call him the kid.
I'd say he's got more of the skyscraper advantage, Mike. You look at the size difference on this.
Yeah, that's not even close. But I'm just telling you, once again, this now kid looks like he can do it, and do it right now.
Or then.
Okay, drop of the hand with Dave Sullystead, and here we go, heavyweight, no holds barred. Colton Hooly coming out with a little front kick to start things off, not connecting. David now looks like he's got pretty good footwork to go along with that, you know, stout posture there.
I tell you what, David now looks nice and relaxed in there, Mikey. He's not shaking at all. He's taking his,
man, that was an explosive. It looked kind of like a jab, but didn't quite, well, it was a jab. It was an explosive one. You could see right there, maybe a little football background in now, perhaps.
I think that's what I'm seeing, Mike. That's
football
exactly
or rugby or something. He got real low, and he just drove into him, and now he's got it pressed up against the cage. Lets him back up, but that was very, very explosive. He caught a kick right there, though. Oh, man.
That's Colton's martial arts background.
You see it. It seems to be a little bit one-dimensional, and I think that right hand right there is going to have some long-lasting effect in this fight.
It had some effect. I'd like to. Oh, no, it's already over.
Yeah. The effect was, I don't want to feel another one of those, and I'm going to tap out right here.
I tell you what, Mike, when heavy leather is getting thrown around like that, it's like 1 minute, or excuse me, 1 second, everything could change. Oh,
you can see right there, just look at the physical response from Colton Hooly. He's still feeling that shot, and that was a really solid blow, man. Man, a very impressive first visit to the cage here for David. What?
Oi!
Now. All right, good stuff. Look forward to seeing this kid come back and do it many, many times in the future, we hope. Tyler Ayers Law Firm is a proud sponsor of the UCE. Call them for legal help at 255-5555. It's been a little while since we've seen such a dominant performance like that. How do you feel?
I feel good.
You're a steamroller out there.
Yeah, just had one thing on my mind, come in here and win.
Yeah, I tell you what, I saw that. When you walked in the ring, you were very focused, and you know, you were on point tonight. And you didn't do it with a choke. You came out and you beat a guy up tonight, and that's what we were looking for. Very impressive. How do you feel about the fight?
Yeah, I heard you kind of put us down by saying these crowds are gonna see another choke, so I had to step it up a notch and land those hands. So.
And we all appreciate it, except that guy, the guy with the bumps on his head. But hey, very, very impressive performance. Are you gonna come back and do it again?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my nieces. They're in Tonga, Kailiki and Lindsay, and especially to my niece, Via. I want to give a shout out to my family, my father-in-law. I love all you guys, my little brother, my trainers. I love my family.
Very, very nice. Great job. Congratulations. I'm telling you what, he might be a new fighter, but David, now, you veterans better take note. This kid looks pretty tough. Well, including yourself, Sal.
I tell you what, Mike, if he comes gunning for me, he better bring a bazooka.
Well, I'm telling you what, man, he looks like he's got a couple bazookas ready for you. All right, we're going to shift gears now. We're going to look at a couple guys that have been around a little bit. These guys are actually a little bit better. Weston Harris and Dan Barry, what do you know about them?
This Weston Harris, he looks to be a real promising fighter. We all know Dan Barry.
All right,
this should be interesting.
Lightweight nose bar, check it out. Weston Harris is a kid, you know, real physical-looking kid, and has got a pretty strong wrestling background. Feels like he can come right in and compete with the upper echelon of the weight class. They call himself Takedown. That kind of maybe a clue that he's a wrestler. What do you say?
He's a pretty stacked guy. Also, Mike, 5'5", 155 pounds from Orem, Utah.
Train with Throwdown Elite. Now, Slammin Dan Barry making his way in the cage. Slammin Dan always comes in high energy, man. He's ready to rock and roll tonight. You can tell, you know, for whatever reason, he seems a lot more energetic than we've seen him in the past.
He's not only energetic, Mike, but he's at most times technical. I tell you what, Dan Barry's got more chokes than I got chins.
And that is a lot. You guys made chins as a Chinese laundromat. All right. Back to the fights.
Yeah, let's get back here.
Dave Selystead with a drop of the head, and here we go. And Weston Harris very aggressively coming out. But, you know, well, nice takedown. There's his nickname, Takedown.
There we go. You know, I love the aggressiveness out of Weston Harris.
You know, I like it, except don't leave something behind right here with Dan Barry.
Especially with Dan Barry. Right away, he falls right into Dan's guard, and this could be trouble, Mike.
Yeah, he's very aggressive, but that might be to his detriment once again, because Dan, he's been in this cage before. He understands, well, maybe not. Weston Harris is coming out, getting his back.
I see what you're saying by that. Dan might be a little bit too relaxed with a spasmatic guy like Weston Harris, who's just constantly on the move, constantly on the go. As you can see, he's constantly looking for the next hold.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is it's certainly not the way I saw this fight going, but again, Dan's so dangerous. So again, he's got a potential armbar on and landed on his feet. That was pretty impressive.
Man,
big uppercuts there by Dan Barry. And I think that might be a tide changer right there.
That could have been, because I tell you what, a lot of times, like I was saying before, you don't see some punches because you're not in there in the cage personally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just takes one punch to turn everything around. A punch to the temple.
Didn't you notice Weston Harris's posture completely changed during that exchange right there? He got caught with a couple of shots, a couple neat little uppercuts.
Oh, yeah, he looks a little humbled right now.
Yeah, he slowed down, certainly, and he's not going at that frenetic pace that he was going at a moment ago. And this, would you say he's got more chokes than you got chins?
He's got more chokes than I got chins, Mike, and he just laid one on Weston Harris right now.
It was interesting, kind of a little bit nervous at the first there, because Dan started out at such a subdued posture, but boy, he sure did hit that choke when he needed to.
Yeah. Experience.
You know, and right here is going to be experience for Weston Harris. So hopefully he draws from this what he should, and that is maybe be a little more tactical in your approach and maybe a little more of a subdued pace.
Oh yeah, he has no choice but to learn after an experience like this, Mike, especially the fighter of stature of his.
This post-fight interview brought to you by Aztec Highway. Get it your way at the highway. WDFA. Slammin Dan, last week you came in and everybody said, Slammin Dan, he's back, he's back. Well, last week it was, I don't think it was really too much of a test for you. Tonight was a little bit more of a test for you. I think now we can officially say Slammin Dan Barry's back.
Yeah. I felt the same way about last week. I just didn't feel like the match was worth the time and effort I put into it. No offense to him, but
Sure, no, and I get what you're saying. That kid, though, is a pretty talented kid. You could tell when you guys were in those scuffles that it was competitive, and you had to do everything you could to wind up in the good position.
yeah, that's the way we felt coming into it. Is he's a good enough wrestler. It's going to come down to who gets what first. So
That's exactly how it goes down. And tonight, you got that. You got the big win. And so Dan, we've officially announced you're back. What's next for you? What's going to happen from here?
I'm about 5 pounds away from being able to cut to 145, and some bums holding onto my belt, so that's where I'm going.
I like the sound of that, my man. I really appreciate you and your wife and your family. You guys bring a lot of great energy to the show. Thanks for being a part of this experience, and congratulations on a big win tonight.
Thank you.
Dan Barry's showing that having a little bit of experience certainly pays off.
It did pay off, Mike. I'm telling you, Weston came in with the guns a-blazing, and Dan really had to, think this one through.
He did. He was very smart. Took the easy sub. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit and go to a couple of knuckleheads, Mike Crispman and Mario Espinoza, when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. Rarely do we have a show that you don't see either Mario Espinoza in it or Mike Crispman in it, and they've been just kind of eyeballing each other for a long time. This was bound and destined to happen.
It's about time because, like, I'm always up for Crispman getting his butt whipped. So I've been waiting for this one.
And I got to tell you, these guys are a couple guys that will stand and bang. Middleweight, no holds barred. Check it out. Oh, I don't think it's any secret that I love me some Sugar Shorts, man. He's been such a big part of the show, but so is El Gato. He's the bizarro world Hispanic version of Mike Crispman. He's the guy that fights all the time.
I heard El Gato eats nails for breakfast, Mike.
No doubt in my mind. 5'9", 160 is El Gato, and you don't know what he's saying, but you always think that whatever he is saying, he means it.
Yeah, and it's probably about Sugarloaf's girl, too.
On the other hand, 90% of what comes out of Sugarloaf's mouth, you probably don't even want to. Anyway. 5'7", 200 pounds out of West Valley City is my one and only lover, Sugarloaf, Mike Crispman.
I'm wondering if we're going to see Sugarloaf's famous cheeseburger punch in this fight, Mikey.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see something cheesy out of this thing right here. You know, again, I'm kind of excited about this fight. I've been waiting to see these two get into the cage for a long time. And they, like I said, they've been kind of eyeballing each other. You know, they'll be at the gym or they'll be at the show, and it's just, they just kind of get the stinky eye toward one another. And they don't speak the same language. They just keep stinky eyeing each other.
Oh, and already the action starts. Crispman starting off with a right. I don't know if he's going for the head with that kick or what, Mikey.
Well, if he thought it was Hervé Villachez, maybe he was, but that was a pretty bad kick, you know, and I'd like to see him set that up.
Working him up against the cage real nice here. Crispman, you know, Crispman throughout his career, I'd say he's made a real nice transition into becoming a cage fighter, Mike.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
really
has
learning
been.
how to use the cage very effectively.
Just gave up his back right there, and looks like some hooks are coming in, and that choke looks pretty deep. If this fight is over already, man, I'm going to be very
Crispman, don't tell me you gave up your back to the hooks.
And Mario Espinoza is not somebody that is really well known for being adept at jiu-jitsu. As you can see, he's crossing his feet, a big no-no. He's doing some things technically very wrong right here, but Crispman's doing a pretty good job of fighting the choke out.
Yeah, you know what? Crispman's been in this position 100 times, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he's not panicking right now. He's just biding his time. As you can see, he's working for the hand right there.
He is, but that's not the way you win fights. You can't bide your time underneath somebody. You got to get up and punch them in their face, and I hope that's what's going through Sugarloaf's mind right now.
Yeah, especially when you got a physical kid like this young Mario Espinoza, Mike, because he seems to get better and better as the days go.
Look at him. He's a pretty strong kid, too. I mean, he's very extremely strong for the weight class. And in fact, most of the guys that have fought him, that's the one thing they come out of the cage saying. This kid, he's really strong. If he only knew how to use it.
Huh. Oh, cheeseburger to the forehead, Mikey.
We should have a cheeseburger counter on the side there. 1, 2.
That's 2 cheeseburgers.
2 cheeseburgers for the loaf. I see another one coming.
Oh, you want some fries with that?
All right. Yeah, man, got to get out from underneath there. You got to get out from underneath there. You got to turn into him.
What should Crispman be looking to do here, Mikey?
Turning into him. He's turning away, which is tightening that choke. He should be turning into him. And getting out. And the other thing is, you see his feet crossed right there. Sugar could bring his leg over the top of that, and there's a submission there. If nothing else, it'll let go of the choke.
I see a lot of guys that get in this position, and right away they start raising their hips and get more up on their tippy toes.
Well, if he could belly down and get his base underneath him, he could. Now, right there, if he'd have just kept turning into him, it'd have been fine, I think. Now, right here, if he gets his hips up high and dumps him off the top, that's another thing that I think he needs to be thinking about doing. But we did say Sugarloaf and thinking in the same sentence, right?
That's an oxymoron, I believe.
Don't use big words like that on this show, Sal.
Especially when Sugarloaf's fighting. I know. I'm sorry, Sugar. Sugar's going to be at home watching this, and he's not going to know
what did you say about me?
Yeah. You're like, I'm mad at Sal, but I don't know why.
Well, you know, unfortunately for Sugarloaf, he did a great job of valiantly, fighting off the choke, but you're going to lose this round. And you're going to lose this round because you were underneath your opponent the entire time. So now you're one round behind. You got to do something here to change that for round number 2.
Yeah, most definitely, Mikey. He needs to come out round number 2 and just start dropping cheeseburgers.
You know, Mike looks pretty fresh, though, compared to Mario seemed to be kind of dragging his butt over to his side. And Michael, he's standing up throughout the break here. So
who was that? You can tell she ain't never ate a cheeseburger in her life.
She did. You'd see it sticking out of her ribs, wouldn't you? All right, to touch the gloves, round number 2. We'll see what adjustments have been made in the corner. between Mike Sugarloaf Crisman and Mario El Gato Espinosa. On our very unofficial scorecards, we've got Espinosa up by 1 round. Sugar's got to do something differently here.
Leaping left hook, Mike.
Well, the left hook missed, and the right hook kind of looked like it landed, but not really super solid. And Mike doing a good job of getting underhooks here, and a nice takedown. Good job.
This is the transition I'm talking about that Crisman's been making over the years,
Yeah,
Mike.
very nice. This is good stuff right here. He's got full mount, and he doesn't seem to be getting too impatient, trying to go for crazy stuff. He's punching here. I like what I see.
Oh, yeah, he's fighting a totally different fight than the first round, Mikey. His corner must have got in his ass.
Well, they probably needed to. Someone needed to. But right here you see good stuff from Crisman. Again, he's not forfeiting position to land these strikes. He's doing a good job of being patient, looking for openings, creating some openings here and there when he can. And I hope he's not doing what I think he's looking to do. It looks like he's looking arm bar, and I hope he's not.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. What did he do that for?
Gave up position in a major way, Mike, but he still has his guard.
I'm just shaking my head, just so you know right now. I can't watch this. I can't believe he just did that. Yeah, you know, he had such a great position. It was landing shot after shot. And I don't know, you know, here's the thing, and I can tell you from experience, you start doing some jiu-jitsu and you want to try it out. You want to test it out. You want to test it out at game time. That might not have been the optimal time to test it out.
And I think Sugarloaf's been doing that. And actually, the last couple fights that he's had, I've seen him try out new moves here and there.
Well, the okay thing about that is it may not help him in this fight, but perhaps long run, you know, it could be beneficial to him. So, I mean, I can't be completely disgusted by that, but I'm kind of disgusted.
Kind of angry.
I'm kind of upset with it, just simply because I know that there's a little bit of animosity between these two, and I'd like to see, you know, Crisman at the top of his game for this one.
And you know, you got to wonder just what kind of jiu-jitsu program this Espinosa kid is going through. I mean, right about now, he should be taking Crisman to the cage.
He doesn't. He doesn't do any jiu-jitsu. He does what he sees on television, and I see him and his brother. They come into the gym, and they kind of do their own thing. He doesn't have any formal training, so I got to give this kid credit. He's done a pretty good job of learning and understanding position, but you won't see any real submissions come out of this kid, although he did come close to getting a choke in the first round.
Crisman working from the bottom.
He's doing a pretty good job of working from the bottom, but he's got to work out getting out. You see that arm right there. He's got to get to the side, take the back of Mario Espinoza, or just get out from underneath.
And move them hips just quite a little bit more.
Stop trying to triangle choke him or whatever he's trying to do and climb with the body there. You know, this is going to be an interesting round to score. I think Mike still should be up. You know, he had that first half of the round very dominant, but gave up position in the second half of the round. And I just don't know that Mario did enough to win the round, but it's very, very close.
Yeah, that could have been anyone's round.
And maybe I'm biased. So I don't know, but you know, it's going to be a close round to score. You have to go into round number 3 thinking you're down 2-0. You have to go in there with that mindset because you know you've got to come up big here in round number 3. And round number 3 is coming up when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. If you're just joining us, Mike Crisman and Mario Espinoza have been on a collision course for quite some time now. Well, that collision course has just taken place. We've got 2 rounds in the books. And man, Mario Espinoza coming out for round number 3 looking like he wants to win this thing.
I tell you what, that's the way to win the fight, Mike. Just like you saying, you got to come out on this round 3 explosive, and Mario did just that.
He did, but it wasn't pretty to watch, man. Those punches were coming from left field, right field, left field, and, you know, if he'd have straightened him up a little bit, he might have had a little more success. Crisman able to weather the storm, however, and now finds himself on top of Mario Espinoza with him pressed against the cage. And you mentioned in the second round there that Crisman has become a cage fighter, and he understands the nuances of fighting in the cage. He knows how to use the cage to his advantage.
Oh, yes, this is clearly an example of that, Mike.
And right here, he should be posturing up and dropping some elbows to the face of Mario Espinoza. And that's exactly what he does.
Oh,
I wouldn't be worried about that. Let him reach up around your head with his legs all he wants.
Does he have any move at all whatsoever?
He doesn't have anything there, other than he's putting his crotch in your face.
Oh, man, that's a move in itself.
Can be disturbing at times.
Very frustrating.
All right, some big knees to the body from the Sugarloaf, and those can be very painful as well. Now, you see right here, Mario kneeing to the head. Those are illegal. I'm surprised Dave Soystead hasn't tackled someone.
Illegal in the state of Utah? Or?
Illegal, period. When you're on the ground, you can't knee to the head. You can really do some damage there.
Well, there goes one weapon out of my repertoire.
Because they call you Killer for a reason. And tell me this isn't happening again. Is this a deja vu? Oh, my. This is hurting my eyes, Salvador.
You mean like deja vu? You mean like deja vu?
Oh, man. No. It's Groundhog Day.
Oh, man. Yep.
Sugar, what'd you do that for? You know why? Apparently, he didn't feel like he'd been punched in the face enough.
Oh, yeah. You know, Sugarloaf is a glutton for pain, Mike.
He does not like going home after a fight without a sore face. Well, he's going to get it. He's going to get one tonight. Well, that right there, he's doing a good job. Now, look, he's looking like for an arm triangle there. I would like to see him just continue to go out the back. You see Dave Soystead just jump over the fighters?
Could he have pulled that arm triangle off in his position? I seen he was in half guard. Can you pull the choke off from that angle?
He could have, but I would prefer that he just continued to take the back of Mario Espinoza. Now, just the opposite has happened, that Mario now has his back and is pounding away at Crisman's face.
Oh, yeah, he's pounding away at Crisman's temple. Those are very effective shots with these little gloves.
Yeah,
Mike.
They really are. And, you know, Crisman's ears look like catcher's mitts right now. They're taking some shots. You can see he's getting all red there. Those shots are landing, and they're landing pretty hard.
Oh, yeah, they're landed.
You know, there's been a bit of frustration with Dave Soystead and Mario Espinoza because he doesn't understand English. How do you communicate to him? You know, watch the back of the head. All those things that you would be doing right now with most fighters, and Dave just kind of got to sit back and, well, all these are legal shots, don't get me wrong. There were a couple earlier that looked a little questionable, but Mario Espinoza is going to win this fight, you know, and I didn't think he had a chance in this fight, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, in a fighter like Sugarloaf, though, I mean, how many times have we seen him looking like Rocky Balboa out there? And maybe Dave knows that, you know, Sugarloaf, maybe, Sugar's pretty tough. I mean, you do officiate fights differently based upon who's in the fight, and Sugar's a very durable guy. But Mario Espinoza is going to walk away with a win here, and he's pretty happy about it, and he probably should be because that's a pretty tough kid he just beat. Where does he go from here, Mikey?
Mexico. Back to Mexico is what I understood. Well, it's unanimous. The judges all saw it the same way I did, which is weird. But very happy El Gato, Mario Espinoza, going to celebrate a big win tonight with a couple cervezas and a, what do you call them? Senoritas.
Yeah. Keep your eye on this Mario Espinoza, Mikey.
This post-fight interview brought to you by Batters Up. Join us each week for UCE weigh-in parties at Batters Up.
Mario El Gato Espinoza, we're again here with him. It was a very impressive fight. ¿Cómo te sentiste? How did you feel during this fight?
Me sentí contento porque en verdad le gané a un buen.
I'm very happy because I fought a very worthy opponent. He's very good, and I'm happy I beat him.
Mario Espinoza getting a big win over the Sugarloaf.
He got a big win over Jiu Jitsu Crispman.
Yeah, tying arm bars. Who knew he even knew an arm bar? All right, you don't want to go anywhere because coming up we're going to take a look at a little background behind Johnny Kafer and Mahfoo Fosita, and then in your main event they're going to square up in the belt round, the championship round for the light heavyweight crown. I can't wait for that one.
I can't wait.
Neither can Sal. All right, we got more of the Ultimate Combat. Don't go anywhere.
He's probably got a lot more experience standing up, so I don't know. I'll try maybe stand up with him for a while, see where I stand, but get comfortable, I'll go to the ground or maybe do clinch. We'll find out. I don't know.
I'm thinking his game's going to be take me down, but like I said, I train for whatever. I don't really have a real game plan. Just go in there and fight. Try to counter anything he throws at me.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised, coming up, Mahfoo, Weston, and John Kafer are going to square off inside the cage. But before we do, we're going to take a look back and see who is this Mahfoo character.
You know, I like how we're just starting to do the chronicles, Mikey. You know, it's about time we let the fans see who these fighters really are outside of the ring.
And Mahfoo is a character, as you will see.
Hi, my name is Mahfoo, and you just caught me at work.
working or trying to look like I work. I've always been interested in cage fighting. One night I was watching it and I seen a familiar face, the guy I went to junior high with. I saw Lima, and that was incredible. I figured from junior high, whatever, he was going to be a fighter anyways, but it was just good to see someone I know jump in the fight, so that actually made it easier for me to say, hey, I know him, he's doing it, why can't I just try it? I noticed that it's a local show, it's from Utah, so that kind of made me more excited, wanted to get into it more, and then saw him talk some more, and then I figured the gym was right, like up the street from my parents' house. I could actually walk there. When I first started fighting, my first fight, I competed against Jeremy Brown, aka Jerry Bear, which was a wrestler, jiu-jitsu guy, against me, a street fighter, or not even a street fighter, just trying to compete. And I lost that one with he got me in a rear naked choke. And then my second fight was against Cody Strickland, which was a strong wrestler from Calville, and he got me in an arm bar. 2 wrestlers against a street fighter. What do you think happens? And then I wouldn't take back the experience at all, because those 2 losses helped me decide if I wanted to keep on competing or not. Those 2 fights just made me learn more about myself and just get me pumped up to train more and start competing more. Third fight and on, that's when I started winning in 5 championships back in the day when I was in good shape and still trying to compete with all these young guys. So back when I was competing, when I won those 5 championships, they were only giving away 5 cups, which was big back then, a big deal to me back then. And then all of a sudden Mike started handing belts out.
One day we decided we're going to start giving out belts, and Mahfoo was mad. He said, you know, I've been winning all these championships and I got all these cups.
Which made me kind of sad, because I worked hard for my cups, and here are these guys getting belts. I can't wear a cup around. Because
apparently it kept falling off, it didn't fit. So we said, look, Mahfoo, bring in all 5 of your cups, I'll trade it for a belt.
So I can just feel with the in crowd. So I can wear it naked in the mirror at home. So he let me do it, and that's how I get my belt. I have to trade stuff in.
And now Mahfoo's got a belt. He can walk around naked in all he wants.
Done broke the camera.
I've been training with Sione and his dad for a while now. Their style is my favorite style. I love the way they box, their techniques, their movements. It's how I want to fight.
This right here, this is the boss man, the coach of all coaches. Top of my hands. That's why people are scared to fight me. That guy. Hey, I like that guy though, he's good. I think he really did give us all our hands. Actually, he gave Heavy Runner his hands, and then he added to Salvador. He gave Maniac his hands, he gave Mahfoo his hands, he gave me my hands, and gave his sons his hands. And he's still giving people hands. He's a good teacher, good coach.
Hey, I'm Johnny Kafer. I've been training with Mahfoo for about 6 years. Met him when I was about 15 years old. Mahfoo's probably the best training partner you can have. He shows up every day ready to work, and we work on a lot of stand-up together. Well, that's all I do is stand-up because I box, but for him, we just work on his boxing, help him out with his boxing, and he got a really long reach, so kind of sucks trying to get through every day, but just glad he's not mean, so because he would beat me up every day. But well, when you first see him fight, you wonder what's wrong with him. Why isn't he winning better or a certain way? But the way Mahfoo fights is just the way he is. He's just he's probably the nicest guy I've ever met. If he was mean, he would probably be one of the best, if not the best in the state. But that's just the way Mahfoo is. He's a real nice guy, and in and out of the ring.
And Mahfoo, I think he has great hands, but he doesn't let them go. You know, I mean, he's not gonna put me down with the jab, and that's all he's going to throw. And those are going to be few and far between. If I don't punch at him, he's not going to punch at me. He is a good athlete. In fact, I mean, I did fight him, and I remember coming in on him, trying to, you know, clinch in, close the distance, and boom, the sucker was behind me. Like, just, you know, create an angle, and I was like, holy crap, you know, Houdini. For real, like, and it happened like twice. I came in and whoo, he's behind me.
Well, this is one of those situations. Oh, here's an ankle lock that Henk Weiss stung Casey Uscola with, and now he got Mahfoo Fosta with it. Apparently Mahfoo didn't watch that fight.
Just not aggressive enough to, you know, to get real far. That's all he needs is some aggression. He has everything else. So.
You didn't let your hands go. Why not?
I don't know. I know my boxing coach is going to be upset, but...
Well, he's going to punch you right upside your head.
Yeah, I don't know.
I worked his corner a couple times, and some of the finals he's made it, and I could definitely see where a lot of people ask why doesn't he let his hands go, and you see the potential there to be better than what he's shown, and I believe he can be way better than what he's shown, but he's just... That's just Mahfoo. He's just nice. I don't think there's much people out there like him, but I wish him luck, and I hope he does well.
When I got the call for light heavyweight, I wasn't sure if I was going to do the light heavyweight tournament or not. So I was still coming back from my first fight back after taking a break, and I think I just needed money. So I just told Mike to put me on the tournament, and then whatever, you know, fight's a fight. My opponent, Johnny Kafer, what I know about him is, like, we train at the same gym. He's a solid, way strong wrestler, and I've rolled with him before, and he just the same wrestler stuff. Like, he wasn't really big on finishing, but he could hold me down forever. And he's a beast. And so that's all I'm worried about is his takedowns, just holding me down, but we'll see what happens.
Mahfoo Fosta has been around a long, long time. The big question is, does he have what it takes to win that belt?
Does he have what it takes? I tell you, he has what it takes, Mike, but will he unleash those hands tonight?
Well, only time will tell, and his little guy right there is going to be watching anxiously, I'm sure, to see how well he does.
Let me tell you who else was watching, just in case you didn't notice this. I seen Lima Pule in the gym, kind of watching here and there, because, you know, the winner's got to fight Lima Pule.
Oh, man, this light heavyweight tournament is getting me excited, man. It's going to be a great one when we come back. welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience as we continue our quest to find out who the toughest light heavyweight in Utah is. This is the Light Heavyweight Championship Tournament. Sal, I'm excited.
Hey, the belt is up for grabs, Mike.
And
it's up for grabs.
There could not be two better guys. John Kafer and Mahfoo Fosita going to mix it up. The winner moves on. The loser just goes on home. I know neither one of these guys want to go home just yet. Both these guys really would like to be fighting for that belt. The mercenary John Kafer, great story, this kid, man. He has been a workhorse, a guy that's just gotten into MMA recently. And he's going up against some of the legends of UCE at 6'4", 205. He certainly has the frame, but he's going up against the Hank Weisses of the world, the Aaron Sawyers, the Mahfoo Fosas. These are the guys he's going to have to beat in order to get that belt.
Well, I tell you what, he better pack a lunch because that is a long list.
That is, and it all starts right here with Mahfoo Fosita, 6'2", 205. They call him the quiet one, and it's for a reason. He's one of the funnier guys you're ever going to meet, but you got to listen to him real close to hear him what he has to say.
This looks like a pretty even matchup, Mike. Both these guys standing next to each other. They're both about the same size. They're both tall. They're both lanky. They're both strong.
Yeah, you know, and you see right here, John Kafer coming out very aggressively. And, you know, I think strategically he didn't want to run into any punches of Mahfoo, so he ducked his head and said, let's take this to the ground where I think I have the advantage.
And once again, Mahfoo's got me biting my fingernails off because he didn't start the fight with his punches.
Yeah, well, that's Mahfoo. He's quiet outside the cage, and he's quiet with his fists inside the cage sometimes.
You know, they're talking about John Kafer being, a real strong wrestler. Right now, Mahfoo looks like he's having his way with him.
Mahfoo's got his back, and he's got a hook in, and he's trying to slide that choke in. Doing a good job of sitting back, and, well, it looked like he was going to throw a punch. Mahfoo teased us right there. We thought he was going to let his hands go for a minute.
Oh, we know better than that.
Yeah, well, we should. He's such a sweet guy.
Back fist to the temple.
You know, those are effective, but I mean, they're not going to win your fights. They're gonna pepper your opponent. They're going to set him up for the big punches that, you know, we're yet to see Mahfoo throw in this fight. And we have seen him do it. What I've seen in the past is that if a fighter will kind of let Mahfoo dictate the pace, if they'll stand in front of him and kind of let him slowly get into his rhythm, he'll beat him up.
Yeah.
But if they come at you like they did right there, Mahfoo's a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, and as you can see, Mahfoo's staying busy right now. He was busy on top, and you can see he's trying to jock for position even on bottom. And Kafer is a big, strong, physical guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an easy job to do.
Well, Dave Selly said going to stand these two up, and, you know, I like this. But you know what I like about when John Kafer fights? The chicks in the audience are a lot better looking. There's a lot of them. They come out to support perhaps the most beautiful man in the UCE.
Well, I'm going to have to watch some more of his fights, Mike, and I'll let you know what the broads say.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your input there. Now fortunes seem to have changed a little bit. Mahfoo's underneath Kafer, and Kafer doing a good job of sprawling out, not giving him that takedown, and, you know, taking some shots here and there. Mahfoo's sticking with that leg, though, not giving up on it. Oh, almost getting a takedown.
Kafer is so long. Look at the way he's got that other leg.
Yeah.
He wraps it all the way around Mahfoo's body.
That, you know, and Mahfoo's not used to that. He's used to being the long one in the confrontation, and, you know, he's finding here. Well, it looks like here Kafer's looking for a standing guillotine. He's not going to get that, I don't imagine. Mahfoo's just too tall.
From this position, Mike, is it possible?
It's possible, but oh my God. Well, you know what? I think it just happened.
Oh.
I'm kind of shocked right now because Mahfoo's better than that. Hey, you know, I can't believe that just happened, but, you know, I do know that. I mean, look at John Kafer. You can see how just utterly strong he is. But that really surprised me. That finish right there really surprised me. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, you know, you don't see a lot of them end like that standing up.
You know, especially from a guy with, you know, Mahfoo's acumen. He knows how to defend a guillotine. He knows how to defend a standing guillotine, especially when you're 6'2". It's hard for me to believe that he just got subbed by a standing guillotine.
Oh yeah, he's most definitely gonna get his ass kicked in Jiu Jitsu class next week.
Well, you know, it is what it is. You know, these guys, they have no hatred toward one another, and John Kafer moving on. I know Mahfoo's disappointed, but got to be a little bit excited for John Kafer to see, you know, what his prospects are, as we mentioned, going up against some of the upper echelon of the light heavyweight division. Have your custom website designed for only $399 at www.399designs.com.
Okay, Mahfoo, what happened in that fight? I thought you were my pick to move on in this tournament, so what happened?
John Kafer, he's a solid dude, solid a solid wrestler. My cardio sucks, but John, he's tough. Can't take nothing away from him. I like to thank Aces Full Lawn Care. They help sponsor me in Riding Dirty Detailing, and everyone at Ultimate Combat Training Center. And I'd like to apologize to Walt Bayless. I trained under one of his students, Mike Kobe, and I don't think I should have tapped from something like that.
This post-fight interview brought to you by Beehive Bail Bonds, because sometimes bad things happen to good people. Mahfoo is a very decorated individual, and many people came to me and said, "What are you doing putting that new guy with that guy?" You know why? That's why. You know what I'm saying? This guy is ridiculously strong, and it's hard to deal with. Talk to me, man.
Well, my hat's off Mahfoo. I got the little award he gave me.
Are you kidding? I can't even see anything.
He'll be there in the morning. Don't worry about it.
Go ahead.
But yeah, he hits hard. He get a hard game, and that was the hardest. That was a real hard first round.
Kiefer, you're the man. You're moving on. Who you fighting? What's going on?
Fighting Lima Pule next Friday.
Lima Pule, are you kidding me? The guy's a legend. You're gonna fight Lima Pule?
I figure he was in the neighborhood, you know, swing by.
All right. Kiefer, I got to tell you, great job tonight. Congratulations. I cannot wait to see whatever the future holds for you, my man.
Yeah, I'd love to get into the game. I need to start coming to the gym more, start training, and yeah, I'll take it serious.
I'm telling you what, brother, the sky is the limit for you. So great job tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's going to put a wrap on a great show, and I'm telling you, the light heavyweight championship round is really starting you're starting to see a clear picture now. In fact, next week we're going to double dip a little bit. We're going to show you 2 fights from this tournament. Damian Nelson and Hank Weiss are going to mix it up, but then we're going to feature John Kafer and Lima Pule, a guy you know a little bit about.
You know, first let me tell you something about Damian Nelson. Hank Weiss is going to have his hands full on that one. Okay?
He better not overlook him, that's for sure. He's a big, strong kid.
No, and then we got John Kafer and Lima Pule, another exciting fight. The fans are in for it this next episode, Mike.
You definitely want to tune in next week. For Salvador Sanchez, I'm Mike Stidham. We'll see you next week on the Ultimate Combat Experience.
I guess he's competing against Lima next round, and I've seen both of them fight. I would probably predict Kiefer to win just because he has a strong ground game. Lima has strong stand-up. He has big heart, but I don't think his ground's improved a lot. So I think Kiefer just take him down and ground and pound and finish it from there.
There's a collision course going on right here, and I'm going to step out of the way right here, and John Kafer and Lima Pule are going to nose up right here, because next week they're going to step in here and settle the score. Lima, what are your thoughts, man?
Man, I'm just ready, man. You know what I mean? I'm ready to fight. Look like he had a couple skills up in there, but you know what I mean? I'm going to bring the heat, partner. You know what I mean?
John Kafer, what do you got to say about that?
I hope we put on a good fight. I'm ready. I'll be ready.
I'm excited, man. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience. We'll see you next week.
This was a good fight. I lost, but like in every loss, you just got to think about the future. And I am getting older. Family's growing. Just the older you get, more responsibilities. So on my play, I'm thinking because my buddies that I work with, they offered me a percentage of the company, so I think I'm going to take some time off just to focus on a career, focus on a family, and then try to keep training, just hopefully actually have more time to train and compete either next year, a couple of years. I just got to mature in life and with everything else, and then hopefully that helps me mature as a fighter.
Thank you.